I step into my childhood home in Manchester, New Hampshire after 8 years of silence. Everything feels foreign, the walls, the air, even the dining room table. My mother raises her glass sharp as ever. It's time to talk about the future of our hotel empire, she declares. Katie will take it all, she's the smart one, the one who's earned it. Katie sits straighter, smirking eyes flicking toward me. Then Mother turns, piercing me with a gaze colder than ice. Christina, you've chosen your path playing in the dirt doing manual work like some stupid girl. Her words hit like a brick, but I don't flinch. I grip my fork, my heart steady. The room goes silent. Everyone avoids my eyes. 8 years ago I'd have crumbled. But now, after building my own empire from rejection and sweat, I feel calm, almost untouchable. Understood, I say, my voice level. Mother nods, satisfied, thinking it's over. Little do they know, my massive construction deal is about to blow up in their faces, and when their precious hotel chain collapses months later, their frantic calls are met with one calm reply. Ask that smart one. If you've ever been the forgotten one, this one's for you. Stick around because my next move shocked everyone. A few weeks after that dinner, I sit alone in my old bedroom in Manchester, staring at the faded wallpaper that hasn't changed since I was a kid. The silence presses in, heavy with memories I'd pushed down for years. My mind drifts back to the day I graduated with honors in construction design from the local community college in New Hampshire. The ceremony had been in the spring sunlight streaming through the auditorium windows. As I clutched my diploma, my heart racing with excitement. I'd dreamed of revolutionizing local building projects, using sustainable materials to transform outdated structures into efficient spaces. But when I shared my plans at home that evening, my mother Jacqueline dismissed it all with a wave of her hand. That's just dirty work, Christina. Playing with tools and blueprints like some manual laborer. Leave the real business to Katie, she's got the brains for it, the office smarts. Her words stung, echoing the favoritism I'd felt my whole life. Katie, with her business degree from a state university, was always the golden child praised for basic achievements, while my ideas were brushed off as impractical. Father Justin nodded along his quiet agreement, cutting deeper than any argument. Find something stable, he added, his tone final. A good job where you don't get your hands dirty. I remember the knot in my stomach as I packed a single bag that night, slipping out before dawn. No goodbyes, just the hum of my old car on the highway out of Manchester. For the first few months, survival meant juggling 3 jobs to make ends meet. Mornings at the corner cafe, steaming coffee and wiping counters until my arms ached. Afternoons at the public library, shelving books and helping patrons with research, the quiet giving me time to sketch designs on scraps of paper. Evenings at the 24-hour diner, flipping burgers and mopping floors until midnight, my clothes reeking of grease. Sleep was a luxury, 4 hours if I was lucky, but determination kept me going. I applied for every small gig I could find, freelancing basic renovations for local shops. Rejections piled up, red marks on my proposals, mocking my efforts. Then came the turning point, a modest contract to redesign a community center's interior. It wasn't much, but it paid the bills and built my portfolio. What no one knew was the quiet help from my Aunt Angela. She'd always been the outlier in the family, living on the outskirts of Manchester and keeping her distance from Mother's controlling ways. One day, an anonymous email tipped me off to an open bid. Turns out Angela had submitted my application without telling me, slipping it through channels she knew from her own admin job. Believe in yourself. Her note read, simple and unsigned. That push got me the win, my first real foothold in the industry. From there, I poured everything into it, nights studying codes and permits, days networking at trade shows. Failures hit hard, like the investor who backed out after a prototype flaw, leaving me crying in a cheap motel room. But a client's thank you note changed it all, a family whose home I'd remodeled, saying it saved them from financial ruin during a flood. I folded that paper and carried it everywhere, a reminder that my dirty work mattered. As I sit here now, those struggles feel like fuel. The family thinks they've won, but my path has led to something they can't ignore. 3 months later, during a family lunch in Manchester, the table buzzes with casual chatter over sandwiches and chips. Anthony, Katie's 15-year-old son, slouches in his chair, thumbing through his tablet as usual. Suddenly he gasps, nearly dropping the device, his eyes wide as he stares at the screen. "Holy crap!" he mutters, glancing at his grandmother to check if she heard. "Aunt Christina, you're in the New York Times." The room freezes mid-bite. Katie's spoon clatters against her bowl. Father Justin pauses with his coffee halfway to his lips. Mother Jacqueline's hand tightens on her napkin. "Let me see that," Mother demands, reaching across the table. Anthony turns the tablet toward everyone instead. My face stares back from the article headline, "Local designer lands $2 billion resort contract in White Mountains." The piece details how my firm secured the massive deal to build a sustainable eco-resort, revolutionizing tourism in New Hampshire with innovative green tech and local materials. Valued at $2 billion, it's set to create thousands of jobs and boost the economy. The silence stretches thick and uncomfortable. Katie's face pales, her earlier smirk from dinner long gone. "You didn't tell us." She accuses, her voice sharp but unsteady. "Why hide something this big?" Mother nods vigorously, her eyes narrowing at me. "We deserve to know, Christina, after all we've done for you." I sip my water, meeting their stares without flinching. It was public news 2 weeks ago. Anyone could have seen it. Father Justin shifts in his seat, saying nothing, his gaze fixed on his plate like he's studying invisible patterns. Anthony scrolls further, reading aloud snippets about my journey from small renovations to this landmark project. "It says you've been pitching this for years, overcoming investor doubts." The accusations fly, then Mother claiming I owed them transparency, Katie insisting it must be exaggerated hype. "These deals fall through all the time," she says, her tone defensive. "Probably just smoke." But underneath, I sense the shift from dismissing my manual labor to resenting my success. Uncle William, who's joined for lunch, clears his throat awkwardly, his eyes lighting up with unspoken opportunism. As the tension builds, Mother pushes back her chair. "We need to discuss this properly, in the living room, now." I follow, wineglass in hand, while Katie exchanges worried glances with Father. The family portraits on the walls, mostly of Katie's milestones, her wedding, her promotions, feel more pointed than ever. My absence in them stings less now, replaced by a quiet resolve. Father remains silent throughout, his usual stoic demeanor cracking slightly as he avoids my eyes. Katie fidgets, her confidence from 3 months ago evaporated. The article has detonated our fragile peace, forcing them to confront what they've ignored. For the first time, their control slips and I feel the power dynamic tilt. Right after the discovery, we move to the living room in Manchester. The space feels smaller than I remember, lined with shelves of old trophies and photos that highlight Katie's life more than mine. Mother Jacqueline paces near the window, her face flushed. Father Justin sinks into his armchair, still wordless. Katie perches on the couch edge, twisting her hands. "How long were you planning to keep this from us?" Mother asks, her tone laced with betrayal rather than pride. I settle on the ottoman, sipping my wine. "I wasn't hiding it. The announcement hit major outlets weeks ago." Katie leans forward, her eyes darting. "You could have called. We would have celebrated." Her voice cracks on the last word, unconvincing. The truth spills out then, layer by layer. "I tried reaching out early on," I say calmly. "Those emails about my first bids, did you even read them?" Mother hesitates, glancing at Katie. "We thought it best not to encourage unrealistic pursuits." Katie nods reluctantly. "Mother said responding would just prolong your phase. So we blocked them, figured you'd come around to something sensible." Their admission hangs in the air, confirming the sabotage I'd suspected. Father clears his throat but stays silent, his complicity evident in his avoidance. "And now," I press. Mother straightens, pivoting smoothly. "We've always supported you in our way, Christina. Remember how I pushed you toward practical skills?" Katie jumps in, her warmth forced. "Yeah, I even helped with your high school drafting class notes." I stare back. "You borrowed them and never returned, getting me in trouble for late work." They're rewriting our shared past right before me, claiming credit for successes they dismissed. "I knew you'd make it big." Mother adds, her eyes bright with fabricated memories. "That drive, you got it from us." The hypocrisy burns, but I hold steady, that wounded part of me tempted to accept the lie for a scrap of belonging. My phone buzzes, breaking the moment. It's an email from Ms. Shannon, my old design teacher from the community college. Saw the news, proud of the student who sketched blueprints during lunch breaks. You proved them all wrong. Her genuine words ground me, a stark contrast to the family's revisionism. As if on cue, the calls start trickling in. Uncle William rings first, his voice overly cheerful. Heard about your windfall, kiddo. Could use a loan for my son's tuition. Family helps family, right? Cousin Shannon texts next. Congrats, my startup needs seed money. You're loaded now. The opportunism reeks, their sudden interest tied to my wallet, not me. The room pulses with unspoken greed. Mother watches me closely, perhaps sensing my detachment. Katie fidgets more, her earlier accusations forgotten in the face of potential gain. For years they've minimized my efforts. Now they circle like vultures. But as I pocket my phone, clarity settles. I don't need their tainted approval anymore. A few months later, the phone rings nonstop from Manchester. I glance at the screen in my quiet apartment, seeing Mother's number flash again. The calls started sporadically at first, but now they're relentless voicemails piling up with urgent tones. Katie's hotel chain, the one she inherited with such fanfare, is sinking fast under mounting debts. High operating costs have eaten away at profits, compounded by a dip in New Hampshire tourism, fewer visitors hitting the trails and lodges due to economic slowdowns. Bills for maintenance staff, salaries, and suppliers stack up, unpaid creditors circling like sharks. The local news even ran a piece on struggling hospitality spots in the region, hinting at closures without bailouts. The first plea comes from Mother. Christina, we need your help, her message begs, voice trembling. The hotel's in trouble, loans are due, and Katie can't manage alone. Katie chimes in on the next call, her arrogance replaced by desperation. Please, sis, your big contract could save us. Just a small investment. Father Justin leaves a rare voicemail mumbling about family sticking together. I listen to each one, my resolve hardening. When I finally answer Mother's insistent ring, I keep it brief. I'm sorry, but ask that smart person you chose. The line goes silent for a beat, then erupts. How can you be so cold, Mother shouts. After everything. Katie grabs the phone. You owe us. This success wouldn't have happened without our guidance. The accusations explode from there, voices overlapping in chaos. You always played the victim, Katie snaps. But Dad forbade us from helping you back then. He said it'd spoil you, make you dependent. Father's voice cuts in faintly. It was to toughen you up. The revelation stuns me momentarily, his direct order to block any support, ensuring I'd fail and return begging. Uncle William joins a group call later, his opportunism from before turning to pressure. Come on, kid, wire some funds. It's family. Cousin Shannon texts amid the frenzy. Help them out or it'll tear us apart. But their pleas ring hollow, laced with blame shifting. If you'd listened, Mother hisses, you'd be running the hotel with Katie, not off building resorts. I end the call mid-rant, blocking the numbers one by one. The bickering echoes in my mind, their united front cracking as they turn on each other, Katie yelling at Father for his old edict, Mother defending it weakly. For years they've orchestrated my isolation. Now their empire crumbles without my rescue. The weight lifts as I set the phone down, free from their grasp. At the old hotel office in Manchester, the air smells of stale coffee and desperation. Mother Jacqueline leans over a cluttered desk, papers scattered with red-inked warnings from banks. Katie stands nearby, arms crossed, her usual poise frayed. Father Justin hovers in the doorway, his presence more shadow than support. They've called me here under the guise of a family meeting, but the agenda is clear. We've been thinking. Mother starts, her voice unnaturally bright as she slides a folder toward me. Inside are mock-ups of rebranded brochures, Katie and Christina Hospitality Group, my name tacked on in bold letters. The hotel needs your touch. Your reputation from that resort deal could attract investors. Katie nods eagerly. Exactly. A partnership, you handle the design upgrades, we share the profits. Your contract connections could secure low-interest loans too. The proposal lands like a bad joke. After months of their pleas falling on deaf ears, they're pivoting to inclusion as if my success is now a family asset. Imagine the synergy. Mother presses her eyes, calculating. Your expertise in sustainable builds could modernize our properties, turn this around. Father mutters agreement for the first time. It's practical. I trace the raised text on the brochure, feeling the irony. They've found a use for me at last, not as an equal, but as a lifeline for their failing empire. I appreciate the offer, I say, closing the folder with a soft snap. Mother's shoulders relax. Good, we'll schedule the press release for... I didn't say yes. My words cut through her assumption. Katie blinks, disoriented. But why not? This is your chance to contribute. I stand, smoothing my jacket. Contribute to what? A legacy that excluded me. The room tenses. Father shifts uncomfortably. Instead, I pull out my tablet, turning the screen to them. The site displays New Hampshire Women's Labor Fund, a $10 million endowment for women in hands-on trades grants, for tools, training, and startups. This is where my resources go, supporting those dismissed like I was. Katie's mouth opens, closes. 10 million to strangers, Mother sputters. But the hotel, it's family. I scroll to the board section. Aunt Angela, I'd like you on the directors. Angela, who's been quiet in the corner, straightens. She's driven in from the outskirts, her face set in quiet defiance. I'd be honored, Christina. Turning to Mother, she adds firmly. It's time I had input too, Jacqueline. You've controlled enough. Mother's face reddens. Angela, you can't seriously... But Angela cuts her off. I can. You've sidelined us both for years. The exchange crackles, years of sibling tension surfacing. Katie looks between them, her plan unraveling. Father watches without intervening, his silence deafening. As I leave, the weight of their expectations falls away. The fund will build futures they never imagined, mine included. 6 months later, from my new office, the emails and calls surge again. The pleas have escalated, Mother's messages pleading for just a conversation. Katie's voicemails laced with sobs about impending foreclosures. Even Father Justin dials in, his rare attempts, mumbling about reconciliation. The hotel's woes have deepened, lawsuits from vendors adding to the chaos, local papers reporting on the chain's potential shutdown. One email from Mother reads, Christina, please reconsider. The fund is noble, but blood is thicker. Wire the money, will pay back with interest. Katie follows with a text chain. Sis, creditors are at the door. I'm losing everything, home business, all of it. Your 10 million could fix this overnight. Their desperation clings like smoke, detailing late-night panic and skipped meals, but I've built walls since blocking them before. I delete each one without reply, then set up filters to trash future contacts from their domains. The finality clicks as I hit save. No more intrusions from Manchester, no guilt trips slipping through. Jonathan, my ex from before I left town, slides into my DMs next with a casual, hey. Saw your success in the headlines, always knew you had it in you. Drinks to celebrate old times. His opportunism mirrors the family's, chasing my status now that it's shiny and profitable. I type back swiftly, thanks but no, past is past and I'm moving forward. Block him too, the action clean and decisive. Amid the silence that follows, a new message pings from an unknown number late one evening. It's little Jacqueline, Katie's 13-year-old daughter, using a friend's phone to bypass restrictions. Aunt Christina, I saw your resort stuff online and read about your designs. Mom says design is for boys and too messy, but I want to learn it like you did. Her words hit different, innocent curiosity cutting through the toxicity of fresh voice in the mess. I hesitate only a moment, then respond carefully to encourage without overstepping. That's great to hear. Start with free online tutorials on basic sketching and materials. She replies instantly with excitement. Thanks, Mom doesn't know I'm asking, she'd freak. She thinks it's dumb and a waste. The secrecy underscores the family's grip, but her spark reminds me of my younger self sneaking drawings under covers. Our exchanges stay brief and sporadic, her questions about tools and software lighting up my inbox amid work deadlines. How do you handle rejections from clients? She asks once, attaching a crude sketch. By proving them wrong with better work. I reply, suggesting improvements. Little Jacqueline's defiance grows, sketching in secret, despite Katie's rules against pointless hobbies. She shares progress photos, her lines getting sharper, her ideas bolder. As the pleas fade into digital void, with no response, peace settles over my days. The family's empire unravels without me, their choices catching up in full force. I've chosen freedom over obligation, building a life untethered from their shadows. 1 year later, from Christina's perspective in her new Manchester setup, the fallout unfolds through distant reports and occasional updates. The hotel chain officially files for bankruptcy under Chapter 11, assets liquidated in court-ordered auctions to pay off debts. Local headlines detail the collapse. Historic lodges sold off amid financial woes, crediting mismanagement and market shifts. Mother Jacqueline faces foreclosure on the family home, notices posted after months of missed mortgage payments tied to hotel loans she co-signed. She moves into a small apartment on the city's edge, her social circle shrinking, as former friends distance themselves from the scandal. Katie loses her house too, the bank seizing it in a swift process common in New Hampshire, her belongings auctioned, leaving her in rented quarters with the kids. The stress shows in rare glimpses from mutual acquaintances, hollow eyes, strained conversations at grocery stores. Father Justin retreats further into isolation, rarely leaving his basement workshop. His phone goes unanswered. Neighbors whispering about his withdrawn state, typical in families hit by financial ruin, where shame compounds the loss. Relatives like Uncle William and Cousin Shannon pull away their earlier enthusiasm for family ties, vanishing once no benefits flow. Holiday gatherings skip invitations, the clan fracturing under the weight of blame. Meanwhile, my independence thrives. The resort project wraps successfully, earning awards for eco-innovation and spawning new contracts across the Northeast. The Women's Labor Fund disperses its first grants, empowering dozens of tradeswomen with scholarships and equipment, stories of their breakthroughs filling my feeds. Little Jacqueline's secret sketches evolve into a portfolio, her confidence blooming despite the chaos at home. Reflecting on it all, the lesson crystallizes: self-reliance triumphs over gender bias, forging paths where others see barriers. Recognizing toxic family dynamics early spares long-term pain, freeing energy for growth. To anyone belittled for their passions, push forward, build your own empire. The rewards outweigh the rejection, proving worth isn't defined by blood, but by resilience.